This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Loose right behind him in the 6th there.
See somebody's hand out the window. Looked like Mike Wallace waving at James Busher behind him. Oh, we got trouble.
No, look out. Carl Edwards turns, and we've got multi-cars into the wall. Leffler's involved in this. The 62 have gone. The 21 of Boyer.
Just ready to say something. I'm just ready to say something.
Patrick Sheltra involved. The 16 of Colin Brown, the one thing he did not need because he's out of this seat. And we've got a car on fire down in the corner of turn 1, and it is Mike Wallace.
This is where you don't bump draft right here. And you can see Carl Edwards got hit in the rear right there. Oh, my goodness. He got hit by a lot of cars here. See, it turns into a huge crash. That goes back to a little bit of the inexperience that we were talking about. The ground.
Well, Stenhouse was excused from last week's team meeting. I'm not sure he's going to be excused from this week's. And in front of Brian Vickers on that outside line.
Yeah, Brett Keselowski decided to jump up in front. He knows that 88 is a fast race car. He knows he can get a pretty good push here. That's his best opportunity to get to the front.
7 laps to go, and this is how close it has been all day long. And here they come again.
Trevor Bayne jumping out of line there. I'm not sure that's his best idea.
And he may get shuffled. You just paid the price. See ya. There goes Allgaier by him. Shelby Howard, who's got a good run going. Colin Brown way up high. Here comes Paul Menard trying to get back in the mix right behind the 12 of Allgaier.
And you see Jason Keller also in that 35 car moving his way up.
This time by, it'll be 6 laps remaining. And remember, the finish line is not at the middle of the tri-oval. It's right there. So you have that extra distance, so you've got to plan for that in your strategy.
Yeah, you sure do. And that's what we saw in the Cup race today. Kevin Harvick waiting extremely late to make that move so that you don't get that side draft and they can pull you back too far.
The outside line starting to close the gap a little bit more with Keselowski in front.
Yeah, I'm liking the look of this outside lane. You got Keselowski and McMurray. You got the Dodges back there. You also have Brian Vickers. This is a group that can get it done out here. I think the biggest problem may be, if anybody, you can see a nice bump right there, but if they just don't get too aggressive through the tri-oval, and I think that's where they could get themselves in trouble.
3 lap cars in front of this freight train pack of cars, as there goes Keselowski looking for the lead. There's the gap. They are going to swallow these 3 up in no time. Question is, will they give up their individual battles to get to the high side and let these guys go through? Kyle Busch is one of the players in that mix.
Now you see McMurray. He's pushing that 22 car. Might have been the best thing that happened to McMurray was getting shuffled by Scott Wimmer, because now it's forced him up there in that outside lane. Looks like these two RCR teammates might even be working together, even though they're not teammates in this series. Yeah, you see Keselowski go back to the inside, though, so that opens up the outside for Jamie McMurray. Brian Vickers pushing him.
Chrissy Wallace about to go a lap down as well. We talked about her great run. The last round of pit stops, just she could not get hooked up with a draft partner, and there's the price you pay.
After all of that, here we are back in the same thing. Jamie McMurray back in 3rd spot. Yeah, for now, he's looking for more. Here he comes on that outside.
You can hear the crowd over the noise. Oh, crash coming down towards start finish. Kligerman's involved.
Caution's out.
The 16 of Colin Brown is involved.
7 of Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch, Morgan Shepherd, Scott Lagasse.
Morgan Shepherd done a great job all day running up in the lead pack. See the 7, I don't think Steve Arpin hit anything.
Morgan was running 29th at the time of the crash. And you saw Kyle going a lap down. Now, the damage to the 7 of Arpin. Arpin had been running in the top 15 all day long.
And Kyle Busch is actually a couple laps down right there. I don't know how he's getting swallowed up by this group.
So it looks like, with all the damage, there is Kyle Busch's. He went up and sort of looked like he just went by the 16. I don't know if there was any contact. Let's take a look here.
You can see the 18's back here. He'd gotten out of the way of this group. Yeah, that's a little contact right there. That's Steve Arpin with the 16 of Colin Brown. Yeah.
Boy.
Morgan got it right there at the end.
Yeah, he almost made it through. Take another angle. Keep an eye on the 7, bottom of your screen. Right there. And that's all it takes.
Yeah, and that's just racing here at Talladega. I mean, you got cars moving, trying to position themselves, and just takes a little bit of contact.
You know, I've seen rookies do that. I've seen veterans do the exact same thing. This track just doesn't discriminate when it comes down to that. It's just so tight, so fast. Kligerman takes a lick.
Boy, yeah, he turned and pancaked the front nose of that car. All right, our third caution now with our second multi-car crash. In white checkers in NASCAR history earlier today. We're going to have our first attempt today here in the nationwide race. It is Kevin Harvick on the low side. McMurray, Boyer, Vickers, Brad Keselowski, and Menard, your top 6 as we go green.
Billy, can you explain to Clint, or Dylan, to explain to Clint exactly how we did that in the last race? So that's what he needs to do. I told him earlier with about 15 to go, 18 to go. I was like, you guys want to make a move now? Go ahead. We're good with it.
So that is Harvick's radio and the conversation, and there is Clint coming, and there's McMurray saying, whoa, I thought I was your dance partner.
It looks like Clint was paying attention because he's doing just exactly what Harvick wanted him to do, and that's put that bumper right to him, try to get him out front here, and then he'll have his shot at winning.
Yeah, and Jamie McMurray had a good run there, and he got a nice push from Brian Vickers, but he pushed him too far.
Here we go, 3 wide.
And
for second.
Look out.
Here they go.
The 88 on the high side getting the push from Vickers. Here comes Harvick saying, I remember this guy. I'll dance with him.
Yeah, but don't forget about Boyer on the bottom there.
Vickers right behind him. Boyer now has the 27 as his partner, and Scott Wimmer.
White flag.
White flag. Here we go. Harvick in front. Can he make NASCAR history and win both ends of a nationwide Sprint Cup doubleheader in one day?
He's going to have to fight them all from both sides right here. He's got cars coming each way.
Here comes McMurray with a head of steam.
McMurray, oh, look out, a little contact with a 32. McMurray says, hey, I was in front the last time. You took it away from me earlier today. He's going to try and take it away from you.
Oh, he's hung in the middle. Here comes Keselowski.
Got trouble now. Keselowski's got Logano on the high side. Look out, they're going to go around.
McMurray.
Stay behind.
Oh, big crash. Oh, and up into the wall. Look out. The caution is out. The race will finish. And it looks like Brad Keselowski is going to get the race win.
Bring it here. Bring it here.
We will check with NASCAR officials because of where the field would be set when the yellow came out. Unofficially, it looks like Brad Keselowski has taken the win, and a tough break for Kenny Wallace there.
Oh, it's good to see that right there.
That is Dennis Setzer as, boy,
Man,
that
took a
car
lick,
is
boy.
torn up.
They got up in the catch fence. Catch fence did its job, though. Put the car right back on the track.
The word from NASCAR is they want to recheck the video and the scoring lines before they make the official word.
You make a U-turn. Come back around. Nice job, guys. Nice job.
If that sounded like the captain, Roger Penske's voice. Brian Scott's car torn up.
Brendan Gaughan.
Brendan Gaughan torn up as well.
Yeah, they're actually having all these guys turn around on the backstretch and come back.
Yeah, because there is so
Wrong
much
way.
damage.
They don't want them running through the that accident scene up there. They want to give all of these workers plenty of room. They don't want race cars coming by this, so they're turning them around.
And you can see how much debris is scattered everywhere on this racetrack. Let's go back and take another look and see what happened.
See McMurray trying to get in line right here, right behind Harvick. Just not enough room.
Yeah, and he had to check up for just a second because he was on the right rear quarter of Kevin Harvick.
And then once he goes around, the chaos begins.
Wow.
Look at
There goes
Setzer. Wow.
Good to see him get out of that car, but that catch fence does its job.
Well, and remember, they raised the catch fence after last year's race here. Also stretched it out over the racetrack. You're right. It did its job. Another view.
Let's see right there. Jamie McMurray just trying to get in. He was going to try to get there and push Kevin Harvick.
You
Just
got to
wasn't
remember,
an opening.
they're coming to the checker flag, so they're not going to let off.
Let's go on board with Justin Allgaier. Just listen.
2 outside. 2 spin in front of you. Watch him clear the bottom.
One more circuit around. It is still Kevin Harvick, but he's in the outside lane, followed by Jamie McMurray and Clint Boyer. The action's in turn 2.
Boyer threads the needle, slams it to the inside of Jamie McMurray. That'll be the battle for second. Boyer down low, McMurray up high. Out front, Kevin Harvick with the lead on 2. Here they come up the super stretch for the final time here at Talladega. Kevin Harvick on the inside. Jamie McMurray is there. He has drafting help from Brian Vickers. They're going to go 3 wide behind him. It's McMurray, Harvick, and Keselowski 3 wide for the lead in the win.
Joey Logano pushing Brad Keselowski. McMurray trying to get in line. He's going to get turned. Clint Boyer's going to turn him, and they're crashing. One car upside down in the fence on fire as they race off turn number 4. A wild crash here.
Multi-car crash up in turn number 4 as the field comes charging back to the line, the checkered flag waving, and it is Brad Keselowski who will win the Aaron's 312 this afternoon. Joey Logano finishes second, Kevin Harvick third, Jason Keller fourth, and John Borneman the third winds up in fifth. Let's go back to Jeff Striegel in turn 4.
A wild crash to this one. It started when Jamie McMurray tried to slam that car down across the nose of Clint Boyer. He got turned. It shot him up the racetrack, and it was on from there. And this end of the racetrack is littered with debris. Now, the difficult thing that I've got from my vantage point right now, Joe, is to figure out which car it was that got into the fence. There's a couple of white cars down there. One of them was. Now, the good news is, and I'm going to tell you that both have climbed out. Jeff Green is one of the cars, and I can't make out who the other one was as it went up in flames. But right now, this end of the speedway probably has at least 8, 9, maybe 10 torn up race cars.
So Brad Keselowski survives the melee there in turn number 4, comes down to pick up the victory in the Aaron's 312 this afternoon, as the rest of this whole trioval up into turn number 1 is scattered with torn up race cars trying to make it back around after that multi-car crash there in turn number 4. Again, Joey Logano gets second, Kevin Harvick third, Jason Keller fourth, and John Borneman fifth. Let's go to Steve Post.
Well, down here at pit road, everyone is just kind of in a state of shock here, just watching what happened here. And some of the cars now have rolled back around from the turn 1 side of pit road because everything is pretty much blocked. So I think really we've got cars strung all across the property right now. We'll see if we can catch up with some of the 2 through 5 finishers.
We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back to Talladega.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.